What's up? What's going on, Brazil? Oh, you guys can do better than that. What's going on, Brazil? I love it. I love it. Super excited to be here. Today, we're going to be talking about content marketing and the impact that generative AI is going to have on all of us. But I'm going to start with debunking a few myths, a lie, so to speak. One of the things that is interesting is they could have been saying anything about me, and I would have had no clue what they said. So I'm just hoping that they didn't say anything that they shouldn't have. But folks, we have all been lied to in our careers and in our lives. And my hope today is to give you some insight into how some of these lies show up in our work, how they show up in our day-to-day, in our lives, and how we need to challenge these lies to get where we want to be. We've all been lied to. And no matter if you're in the social media side, whether you're in content marketing, whether you're in social, SEO, you name it, we've all been lied to. One of the first lies that I was ever told as a kid was that if you ever swallow bubble gum, it will stick in your stomach for years. It was a complete lie. It's not true. Some of you might have believed that as well. It sucked. It's not real. You can swallow it and it will go through. It's not a thing. Here's another lie. I don't know if this is a thing in Latin America, but back home in Canada, there was this lie that if you had the dome light on, you could get arrested for driving around. It's a complete lie. I was literally in the car with my daughter just a few months ago, and I was like, hey, you got to turn that off. You got to turn that off. We're going to get pulled over. And my wife was like, what? What are you talking about? That is not a thing. That is a lie. Another lie, a lie that is going rampant across our industry, is the idea that AI content sucks, that AI content cannot drive real business results. My goal today is to show you that AI-generated content can unlock amazing ROI for your business, your career, and everything. And I want you to leave this with one simple idea. Challenge your beliefs, embrace experimentation. If you can embrace this idea of challenging the things that you might believe are true and embrace experimentation, you will come out of this presentation ideally with new ideas, new strategies, and new techniques that you can take back with your team, your company, your organization, and unlock some amazing results. All right, let's get into some of the tactics. There's an organization called CNET, which has a media company. And CNET recently published hundreds of blog posts using artificial intelligence. They press publish on these pieces of content back in January in 2023, and they got a ton of slack online because writers, editors, people in the marketing industry, content creators were saying, what are you doing? You can't keep replacing people with these AIs. This is horrible. You should be ashamed of yourself. What are you doing this? In fact, a few weeks later, they actually found a bunch of errors in the pieces that the AIs wrote. So all of the humans were happy. All of the people started clapping. They were all excited. They were so excited that the AI made mistakes. And I get it. The rumor had it that this was so bad that they actually shut down this entire exercise. They went to the media and they said, we're not going to use AI anymore. We're done. Now me, I like to really figure out, okay, cool, this is what you're saying, but what actually happened? So I like to pretend that I'm Sherlock Holmes, AKA Sherlock Homeboy, and I decided that I was going to figure out what was going on. So I did some research to look at CNET's content and understand how much traffic are they generating on a monthly basis to these pieces. So I analyzed it. It turns out that all of the AI pieces of content that they created are generating 5.1 million visits. 5.1 million people are going to their website and reading pieces that were created on the back of AI. So sure, people can say that AI will never work, but at the end of the day, the data doesn't lie. When you look at how much it would cost to capture that much traffic using PPC, paid media, Google advertising, etc., it would be $1.3 million. You would have to spend $1.3 million to capture that amount of traffic. That's a lot of money, right? That's a lot of money that you would have to spend. A quick question. How many of you believe, a quick show of hands, that AI could replace your job? Oh, this is going to be fun. We're going to have fun. All right. I believe that AI is doing to white-collar jobs what robotics has already done to blue-collar jobs. Let me ask you another question. How many of you think parts of your job can be replaced by AI? Okay. Woo. Perfect. All right. So it's not that far that I have to take you. But by the end of this, we'll see where we are at. All right. Folks, in our industries at large, it is becoming more and more challenging to win at the game of content than ever before, right? X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, is chaos. Reddit, chaos. LinkedIn, chaos. Google, chaos, right? Teams are being replaced with ChatGPT. We don't need people anymore. Let's just throw ChatGPT at it. Chaos. Budgets are getting cut across the board, right? Everybody is trying to do things with Barbie budgets, but they only have Ken money. It doesn't work. It's complete chaos. Companies are putting up job descriptions like this where they're looking for people who can do everything, social media, Twitter, PR, and 6 years experience, and you make 40K. They want you to do it all. It is complete chaos, right? This is turmoil, folks. And when I asked you all if you thought robots would take your job, I'm very glad that you said no. And I'm hopeful that that is true. But there's still no question that this industry, marketing, communications, software, you name it, is in complete turmoil. That's not me. It was AI that created that. Same with the Sherlock Homeboy visual. Not me. I do have swag, but I can't dress like that yet. Marketers in 2019, we had it good. If you were marketing in 2019, we were smooth, folks. But now, it is a mess. It's absolute chaos. So here's what I want you all to do. I want you all to just take a deep breath and recognize, yes, it's chaos. Chaos. Okay, we get that out of the way. Now, what can we do beyond that? Let's go back to the fundamentals. I believe the entire industry has made a major mistake where we have forgotten about the marketing part of content marketing, where we have over-focused on create. Develop new blog posts, write more blog posts, write more tweets, write more LinkedIn updates, put up more content on WhatsApp, create. But we've forgotten research, distribution, and optimization. If you can embrace this framework, I believe that you will be successful. I believe you will be able to thrive amidst the chaos. But here's how you do better than the person sitting next to you and the person behind you. You sprinkle a little bit of AI all over it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How you can sprinkle AI over your efforts to unlock amazing results. So, how many of you, quick show of hands, have used ChatGPT? Cool. All right. Another question. How many of you have never used ChatGPT? Okay. We're going to have some fun. All right. Let's jump into it. So with ChatGPT, you have the ability to go in and you can upload a PDF today. Any PDF, any document, and you can ask it to analyze that report. For me, this is a major win. You can now take investing documents. Let's say you're trying to invest in stocks. You can literally update an annual report from a company that is being traded publicly and ask it to analyze that for you. And in seconds, it will give you details around that. You can ask it in any language. So if you don't speak English, that's okay too. You can upload it. It will translate back to you. It understands all of the different languages. You can do that directly in ChatGPT. If you ever use a software that gives you reports and you feel like your team isn't fast enough to give you an analysis or an insight, you can take a report from the software tools that you use, whether it's an SEO tool, a paid marketing tool, influencer marketing tool, upload it to ChatGPT, and within the matter of seconds, get a report back summarized based off of what they have found. You can tell ChatGPT, hey, I want you to pretend that you work at a consulting firm and give me a summary and an analysis around what I just got in this report. In the matter of seconds, you can get insights that are better than someone who is fresh out of university is able to give you, because ChatGPT already has all of that knowledge and has all of that information, right? You can upload a data set of analytics, of reporting directly to ChatGPT and get the insights of it analyzing it in the matter of seconds. Challenge your beliefs and embrace experimentation. Here's another part. Another piece of this is, how do you create great content on the back of AI? This is something that gets a lot of people upset, especially creatives, especially designers, videographers, etc. I know. It's chaos. If you are in the world of design, if you are in the world of videography, you are going to hate me after this presentation, and I'm sorry. I'm Canadian, we apologize a lot, so I am sorry. But I gotta do my thing. So let's talk about creation. And before any SEOs say, but what about Google? What is Google gonna say? Google doesn't care. Google doesn't care. Google doesn't care. All that Google cares about is whether or not they're making money. I said that out loud. But yes, that's all that Google cares about. And if you happen to create content with AI, Google already said in their statement that they don't care. They pretty much just want you to create content that is high quality. So if the content that you deliver is good, it's no issues, it's no problem. Just create good content. It asks you to do this. This is what Google says. It says, is the information that you are publishing original? Does it include research? And does it provide you with comprehensive information? If the answer to that is yes, press publish. If you're not doing that, then you shouldn't have been pressing publish in the first place. So we are using these tools to just create good content. So let's go back to one more example. There's a website called Bankrate. Bankrate is similar to CNET. They published hundreds of articles using AI. The total value is $7.2 million. Now, this presentation is kind of funny because I'm using AI to do translations throughout this deck. So if something says something very weird, please tweet at me and let me know. I would love to know if ChatGPT messed something up here. All right. The total value of all of this content is worth millions of dollars, and it's all on the back of them using, again, AI to create the content. I wanted to figure out exactly what goes into a piece that ranks in Google, that gets shared, that is loved by many, that is used, that leverages AI. So Sherlock Homeboy went on the case again. I decided that I was going to reverse engineer and study the best content. I was going to analyze and try to figure out what goes into these pieces. And there were 6 key things that showed up. 1, they had high editorial standards, meaning the content that was being published on these sites spoke through a voice and through tone that aligned with the brand. 2, there was multimedia assets, whether it was video content, whether it was content that was interactive in nature where you could scroll your mouse over it. All of these different things were feasible directly in the blog post. There's also this thing called Double-Elite, which is a simple idea. Expertise, authority, trustworthiness, and experience. If you, as the author of a piece of content, can demonstrate those things, then you're more likely to show up in Google. The 4th thing was that it reads like a human. Nobody wants to consume content from a robot, so you have to make sure that it actually sounds a little bit more human. There's internal links going back to other blog posts and pages on your site, and sometimes Sometimes they even told the reader this was augmented with AI. Not always, but sometimes. That one has a little asterisk. It's up to you. You can do it or you don't have to. But these are the things you have to do. Now, even amidst all of that though, folks, here's what I want you to know. At the end of the day, every single piece of content that you create should fall into these 4 categories. If you're pressing publish on a piece of content for social media, for YouTube, for a blog, for your website, whatever it might be, it needs to educate, engage, entertain, or empower people. If your content does these things, then you are already going in the right direction, right? You have to educate people on how to do things. You have to engage people so they feel like they're a part of a community. That strikes up a bit of a dialogue between you and them. You also want to entertain people with the content that you produce. When I say entertainment, I don't always mean like, oh, this has to be knee-slapping, hilarious, and funny, and make everybody laugh. Entertainment can simply leave somebody inspired. It could leave somebody motivated. It could leave somebody just thinking about, oh, this is something I resonate with. So memes resonate deeply with that entertaining side. And then on the empowering side, this is content that celebrates other people. It celebrates people in your industry. It might celebrate your own team. It might celebrate your customers. Empowering people builds a tribe. And when you have these fundamentals and you understand, educate, entertain, engage, empower, and you know what goes into a great piece of content that is optimized by AI, I can guarantee you that you can have success leveraging tools like ChatGPT, copy.ai, and any other AI-driven tool to unlock amazing returns. Here's a piece of content that I actually written using AI, and it took me 30 minutes to do. I wrote a piece called The Ultimate Guide to SaaS Pricing in 2023. This piece took me 30 minutes to create. I used AI to develop it. I got an email probably 2 days after I wrote it saying, hey, Ross, we want to publish this on our site as well. When this piece went live, we also had 4 companies reach out to us asking to work with us, and the total value of those companies was about $150K worth of net new business off of 30 minutes of work. So I wrote a blog post in 30 minutes, and I made about $150K on the back of that. Wild. That checklist that you see there is exactly the things that I did after giving ChatGPT a bunch of prompts to make sure that this piece was optimized for Google and the reader. It then went live on a website called indiehackers.com. Even the images were created using AI. I used a tool called Midjourney, and I told it, hey, can you create a graphic of some popcorn? And then within the matter of seconds, I got those stock images. I said, give me a picture of coffee as well. Coffee here is very different than back home. It's delicious here, though. But that is what they gave me back, and I was able to show this image. The popcorn here in the back corner is also delicious if you haven't had any yet. So there was comments happening. People were engaged. People loved it. 150K on the back of a 30-minute blog post. How did I do it? There's this entire checklist broken down. You can download it for free. It costs you nothing. I don't think there's there's not even a gate. You don't have to give your email. It goes directly to a Google Doc that you can download and use, translate it, use it, circulate it with your team. I think it's a key opportunity. Why is this important? Because I did an analysis of over 400 SaaS companies, and I wanted to see what SaaS companies, software as a service, were generating the vast majority of traffic. And what I found were that the companies that get the most traffic were publishing over 100 blog posts a year. And the ones that were surpassing even the wildest imaginations were publishing over 500. So if you thought you were doing good pressing publish on 2, 3, 4 blog posts a month, you're far behind. The best in class are publishing 500 blog posts a year. How, Ross? How can we do that? AI. Let me show you. So you go to ChatGPT, but first, let's say you're using a keyword research tool. You find your favorite keyword research tool. You're identifying keywords that people that you're targeting typically go and are looking for. Within the matter of seconds, you get this spreadsheet. It breaks down all the keywords that are relevant to you. You then take that spreadsheet, you upload it to ChatGPT. In ChatGPT, there's a plugin that you can use called Spreadsheet Scraper as well as Link Reader, and you tell ChatGPT to turn this into a spreadsheet with a whole bunch of blog post titles. In the matter of seconds, ChatGPT will give you a bunch of titles for your articles. You then say thank you because you don't want AI to come and get you in the middle of your sleep someday. You say thank you, it gives you all of these titles, these topics, etc., and then you take this over to a tool like copy.ai. This is where it gets even more interesting. So in copy.ai, you're able to essentially develop a brief, a content brief for a piece of content that you want to develop. You can say, hey, ChatGPT, when you look at this spreadsheet and you see this title, I then want you to start creating subtopics that will go below it. After you have these subtopics, I want you to go out and find some sources. I want you to get some interesting data, some interesting information, and write me a full blog post. And that's what this tool will go out and do. You literally say, the content topic that I want to write about, and then it will insert from your spreadsheet that topic. Please then give me 5 newsworthy articles that I should think about or incorporate within this piece. What I love to do on ChatGPT is called role play. So you get ChatGPT to pretend it's someone else. So whenever you're talking to an AI, you can say, hey AI, pretend that you are a journalist for this company when you write this piece, and then it will go look at how those journalists write and then write in that style for you. So that's what I've done here. I am using this site called Wait But Why and telling ChatGPT to use that for the content that it creates. Then you say, you are a blog writer who creates draft blog content. Please write a piece of content on my behalf. And within 5 minutes, you start to get all of this. You get the titles, the sections, the actual copy, and more, all within the matter of seconds, right? You get this content, and then you put it into a Google Doc or a Word doc of some sort, and then you have to optimize this for search. You have to make it a little bit pretty, you have to make it sound good, you want to go through that checklist and optimize it. You put it into Google Docs, and then in the matter of 3 minutes, you can format this piece and bring it to life. I kept receipts so you can see how long it took me to optimize this piece. 3 minutes, right? Then, if you really wanted to get fancy, you can go to a tool like Midjourney and start to copy and paste the sections and ask it to give you a graphic based off of that text. I wanted somebody who was sitting in a rustic area with white shoes, and it gave me that. I said that I wanted somebody with flowers in the background, and it gave me that in the matter of seconds, right? This is all possible today, right now, as we sit here. Challenge your beliefs and embrace experimentation. I don't know if this disgusting ad ever got shown down here, but when it was in Canada, everybody went wild because it's talking about how at Burger King they have amazing burgers and everybody loves them, and they actually get moldy while at McDonald's they don't, and everybody went wild. This ad broke the internet. Everybody was talking about it. It got spread everywhere. That's not the ad, folks. I made that ad in Midjourney in the matter of seconds. That is not the original. And guess what? It didn't cost me how much it cost Burger King to hire a photographer, to hire a creative director, to hire an ad agency who spent a bunch of time drinking wine and coming up with fancy ideas. I came up with it in seconds, right? This is the world we live in today. And some of you will still say, yeah, but you're not creative enough. You're still not creative enough. Right now, there are films that are getting funded on sites like Kickstarter that are literally using Midjourney to tell the story. They are just using Midjourney to create visuals and images, and they are raising thousands of dollars to bring their movies to life. They are using Midjourney and ChatGPT to write actual comics that are getting tons of people following them. There are coloring books on Amazon right now that you can buy that have already sold hundreds of thousands of copies that were created using AI. This is the world that we live in. So the next step becomes, okay, we're creating this content. How do we spread it? how do we get this content in front of the right people? You embrace distribution and you sprinkle some AI all over it. There's a great tool called Summarize where you're able to upload a podcast, a video, whatever you want, and it will listen to it, and then it will create content for you on your behalf. So there's another tool called Descript, Descript. What you're able to do with that is upload a YouTube video, an interview, and it will listen and chop it up for you and create more content. Why is this valuable? Because you can take these little clips and start to share them on Instagram. You can share them on X. You can share them on Facebook. You can share them in your story. On all of the channels, you can start to distribute these assets. And what's getting very interesting is there's a tool called Runway ML where you can actually now turn still images into videos. So early on, I talked about how in Midjourney, I was able to create like this visual of not me, but kind of me in a car during a dome light situation. Runway adds animation to that video. We're still in the early days, folks. This is like early in this technology. I guarantee you, and I want you to find this in 5 years. In 5 years, you'll be able to go to ChatGPT, ask it to create a movie for you that you want, whatever movie you want, and it will create that movie for you with people, with scenes, everything, in the matter of seconds. There's another tool called 11 Labs, which I love. 11 Labs, I'll show you a little bit about it shortly, essentially replicates speech. So it will take my voice and it will replicate it and use it so I can record podcasts without actually recording them. I give 11 Labs a script and it will read that script in my voice. It does this by essentially creating a deepfake of me using audio and then replicating it. There's another tool called DID, which you can upload an image of yourself and it will essentially replicate yourself as a deepfake. In addition, I did an experiment to run this, and I uploaded audio of myself talking about technology. I shared it with my followers. People went wild. Some people thought it was me. It was not me. I never said those words. I never sat in that chair. I sat in that chair once, and I got a picture taken, but I never sat in that chair and said those things. So when I look ahead, what the future looks like is going to be absolutely wild. Challenge your beliefs and embrace experimentation. The final piece of this mix is taking all of this a step further. So I was thinking to myself, okay, how can I turn this into image content? So I went to ChatGPT and I said, hey, ChatGPT, give me some tweets about marketers and what marketers can do. ChatGPT created 75 quotes for me in the matter of seconds. This is something that a typical social media manager might be tasked with doing. I then said, hey, ChatGPT, spit that out for me as a spreadsheet, please. It gave me a spreadsheet. I then went over to one of my favorite tools, Canva, and I uploaded that spreadsheet. I said, hey, Canva, I want you to go to this spreadsheet and import my quotes where it says quote. But that picture's ugly. I don't want that. I want it to look cool. So let's go to the internet and try to find some cool pictures. And I found this graphic of this guy. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Looks decent. I go to Midjourney and I say, hey, Midjourney, I want you to describe what you're seeing when you see this photo. They said, okay, this is what we're seeing. We're seeing a man on a laptop. I was like, cool. Let's give him some melanin. Let's make him black. Let's switch it up a bit. So that's what they did. They turned him into essentially me and my sister in the matter of seconds, right? And they created a ton of them. So I take all of those files, I download them, I upload them back to Canva, and in the matter of seconds, I had hundreds of these graphics and visuals in the matter of seconds. And then I scheduled them to go out. They go out on my social media channels, and they're getting tons of traction, right? But Ross, you're not going to get good traffic. Okay, hear me out. There's a YouTube channel called Daily Facts Worth. It has over 200,000 subscribers. All it does is it goes to Midjourney, it goes to ChatGPT, and it uploads graphics with silly quotes on it. There's another channel that dedicates itself to history, where all they do is they take audio clips of people talking about historic moments. They use Midjourney to create a bunch of images of the people who are historic, so they don't know what they look like, and they get thousands of people watching this content every single day. Challenge your beliefs and embrace experimentation. The last piece that I want to talk about as it relates to AI is the power of optimization. Now, it's great. We've talked about how to do research. You can upload all of this information in a matter of seconds. ChatGPT will give it back to you. We've talked about how to create great content on the back of ChatGPT. You can create a deepfake of yourself. You can make it say anything that you want. You can create long-form blog posts. You can create images. You can create graphics, all of these things. You can distribute the content on social. You can make the content sing. But now we have to think about optimization. Because one of the biggest mistakes that I see happen is that brands invest tons of money and time into creating these great things, and then they let them collect dust. They do nothing with them. They don't promote them. They don't come back to it. They don't do anything with it at all. And right now, in 2023, in November, you should already be updating every piece that you created in the last year that said 2023 to say 2024. Because one, Google loves it, and two, it's getting close to that time where people are going to start looking for that information. But we oftentimes don't do it. AI can assist with that as well. You can upload all of your content to AI and say, can you identify moments in which we say 2023 and tell me where I can make these updates. With this article in particular, I took the URL and I uploaded it to ChatGPT. And I said, hey ChatGPT, read this piece and make some SEO recommendations on what I can do to improve it. ChatGPT then goes and reads the article. It goes in, it scans it, finds SEO, and it says, hey, Ross, you forgot that you didn't update your meta description with this content. Thank you. That's very helpful. I should have probably caught that in the first place. Go out and fix that. I also told it, hey, ChatGPT, while you're at it, how about you read that piece and give me a recommendation on an image that I can add to this piece that might be a good graphic that I could incorporate in it. Actually, let's take it a step further. I want you to design that image for me. In the matter of seconds, ChatGPT created a flow chart describing and showing the process for developing a great price in SaaS. Seconds. Designers, be afraid. Be very afraid. We need to start embracing the idea that if we leverage this model of research, creation, distribution, and optimization, that we can be more successful in our work. Now, I've shared a lot of tools, a lot of tricks. How many of you now think that AI might be able to replace your job? I still don't think I'm going to get it. Some of you, okay. The rest of you, I'll be back in a couple of years, and we'll see how you. I won't see you. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm joking. All right, but research, creation, distribution, and optimization, folks. If you can embrace these 4 simple ideas with your content and sprinkle AI on it, I believe truly that you will be able to operate faster and more efficiently. Imagine though, like you go back to work and you start to use these tools. You can start to run reports faster. You can get data on what you should be creating faster. You can develop these things in the matter of minutes. You can get visuals created for you in the matter of seconds. You can start to present ideas to clients in the matter of seconds. I literally went to Midjourney and I was like, hey, Midjourney, I want you to show me a picture of Serena Williams holding a Pizza Hut slice of pizza, and it did it in seconds. If Pizza Hut's my client, I can bring that to them without ever talking to Serena. This is not legal advice. I'm not saying that you can actually do the ad out in the real world, but behind closed doors, you can at least do the mock-up to get the budget to approve that idea in that campaign, folks. This is the new way of doing things. Now, after I talk about AI, a lot of people always get excited. They start going out and running and saying, okay, I'm going to use all these tools. I'm going to download all these apps. Hold the phone. Take a breath and relax. You first have to go back to some of the fundamentals that I talked about early on. create the content based off of that idea of educate, engage, entertain, and empower. If you don't have the fundamentals, no AI is going to save you. No AI is going to save anyone that isn't actually embracing the fundamentals. And people always say, Ross, do you actually think that AI is going to replace writers, designers, etc.? The truth is, yes, but only those that are mediocre. If you are average, if you are not willing to level up, to get more creative, to embrace this technology, to go faster, to be able to use it as your partner and put it on kind of like an Iron Man suit or like a Spider-Man suit or whatever it may be, if you do not embrace these tools, you are more likely to be replaced. But the great marketers with AI are going to create greater content. The better marketers that use AI are going to create better content, faster and more efficiently. So yes, I do believe it's going to replace a lot of people, but I also believe it can be used as a superpower. I have a video online where I talk about organizational structure and how organizations can actually incorporate this. If you're interested, check it out. It's on Whiteboard Friday. Now, I want to try something. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's check if this does work.
Estamos vivendo alguns dos momentos mais emocionantes na história da tecnologia. Nunca foi tão fácil criar conteúdo incrível com a IA. Nunca foi tão fácil criar vídeos com a IA, música com IA, arte com IA e até vídeos com IA. Precisamos ter cuidado com o que confiamos na internet. Nunca se sabe o que é real e o que é falso. Precisamos abraçar essas tecnologias, mas garantir que nunca perderemos de vista a humanidade, a conexão e a narrativa. Abraçar a tecnologia, abraçar a inovação, mas nunca esquecer de abraçar os fundamentos que levam à excelência. Fiquem seguros. E obrigado a todos por virem. Brasil, sua energia é incrível. Obrigado.
Thank you. I appreciate you all. I hope that video made sense. And folks, remember those 4 ideas. Research, create, distribute, and optimize. And my hope today is that one idea that I shared today will stick with you longer than some bubble gum. Thank you so much. You've been great. I appreciate you.